when you suggested that, in a video, by the way, that police withheld the truth about the person alleged to be behind this tragedy.
Well, how interesting you say that.
That we don't compromise someone's fair trial.
So this is really interesting.
And allow the families of those who have suffered to hear the truth.
Yeah, and we hide behind this again and again and again.
Why are you saying hide behind?
I'll tell you why. Lord Carlisle, Liberal Democrat peer, but a very senior legal man, along with Jonathan Hall KC, who is the government's terrorist.
Have you ever watched a seasoned host suddenly run out of words? That is exactly what happened when Nigel Farage stepped into the studio and immediately turned the pressure up. In a stunning exchange, he challenged both Ed Balls and Susanna Reid with claims that shifted the entire tone of the conversation and left the room visibly shaken. What did he say that stopped two experienced presenters in their tracks? And why should it matter to you and the direction things are heading? Before we go further, a quick request. If you value sharp, direct commentary like this, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. The vast majority of viewers watch without subscribing, and while it costs nothing, it makes a real difference for the channel. Done? Now back to the moment. As Farage walked in, the air felt charged, and both hosts, known for pressing guests hard, were clearly preparing for a difficult interview, but the exchange that followed quickly flipped the script and set the stage for a tense, high-stakes confrontation.
You deserve to know the truth, and both Lord Carlisle and
the truth was that the suspect was not under surveillance. The truth was that the suspect had...
Do you know that?
Well, you don't know.
That there was truth behind the idea that this was in fact a migrant who had done this, and it was untrue.
I was saying, tell the truth, give the public information, and the problem will die down.
Like some
Neither of
pundit on some TV show.
You're
a member of Parliament.
Neither of you
have to behave in a responsible way. If you give the impression to people that what's being hidden...
If talk of reform and myself is dominating, I'm not there. Look, they are desperately looking for someone to blame for the massive election loss they've just been through. So let's go for Nigel Farage.
They wanted to blame you, or do they want to jump into bed with you? I thought Mr. Jenrick is kind of keen for you, to cuddle up.
Well, he's less rude about me than the other three. I mean, that is true. No, there will be no deal with them. I wouldn't trust them anyway.
Are you proud of Brexit? Do you feel like it's been an unalloyed success?
Do I think getting back our independence was the right thing to do? You bet your life. Do I think we've handled it well? Good Lord, no.
Part of our independence are we exploiting to our best advantage?
The point about independence is we're in charge. So we can get things right, we can get things wrong.
Do you think as a regular voter, you feel that the AUKUS deal has affected your daily life?
If I lived in Barrow-in-Furness and I was working in the submarines, yes, I would.
The discussion quickly zeroed in on government transparency and accountability, an issue that has long shadowed British politics, and Nigel Farage wasted no time turning up the heat. He charged that authorities were deliberately withholding critical information from the public, a claim that instantly shifted the atmosphere and forced the conversation into uncomfortable territory. Farage strengthened his position by pointing to support from Lord Carlisle, a respected voice whose involvement made the allegations harder to brush aside. Still, Ed Balls and Susanna Reid pushed back firmly, cautioning that sweeping accusations without full context could fuel public anxiety and deepen confusion. What followed became a sharp collision between calls for openness and concerns about stability, with the hosts arguing that releasing sensitive details prematurely could do more damage than good. Farage refused to retreat, insisting that the public deserves clarity about decisions made behind closed doors, and the exchange intensified as both sides dug in. He accused institutions of sheltering behind technicalities, while the presenters warned about speculation and the dangers of spreading incomplete narratives. As the tension peaked, Farage delivered his most forceful argument, declaring that transparency is the backbone of democracy and that secrecy only erodes trust, widening the divide between leadership and the people they serve, transforming the clash from a routine interview into a high-stakes confrontation about power, accountability, and who ultimately controls the narrative.
Form and myself is dominating. I'm not there. Look, they are desperately looking for someone to blame for the massive election loss they've just been through. So let's go for Nigel Farage.
They wanted to blame you, or do they want to jump into bed with you? I thought Mr. Jenrick is kind of keen for you, to cuddle up.
Well, he's less rude about me than the other three. I mean, that is true. No, there would be no deal with them. I wouldn't trust them anyway.
Are you proud of Brexit? Do you feel like it's been an unalloyed success?
Do I think getting back our independence was the right thing to do? You bet your life. Do I think we've handled it well? Good Lord.
The exchange ultimately raised deeper questions about the character of British democracy itself. How much should the public be told? Where the boundary lies between transparency and national security, and who gets to decide when information is shared? As the tension faded, one thing was unmistakable: the battle over accountability is far from finished. Nigel Farage had reignited the conversation, once again positioning himself as a disruptive voice challenging the established order. Whether praised or criticized, he pushed himself back into the center of national debate. Then, in a shift that surprised many, the focus moved from studio arguments to the pressures facing rural communities, where Farage made a calculated move that could either reinforce his image as a champion of ordinary voters or fuel claims that he is chasing headlines. The stakes are significant, tied directly to the future of Britain's farming sector. Farage stepped into another political storm by backing farmers opposing proposed inheritance tax changes from Labour Party, a decision that quickly drew strong reactions and intensified the debate. Supporters see it as standing up for struggling rural families, while critics question the timing and motives, leaving the moment balance between principle and politics, and once again turning Farage into the focal point of a broader argument about independence, influence, and who truly benefits from these high-profile interventions.
Part of our independence are we exploiting to our best advantage?
The point about independence is we're in charge. So we can get things right, we can get things wrong.
Do you think as a regular voter, you feel that the AUKUS deal has affected your daily life?
If I lived in Barrow-in-Furness and I was working in the submarines, yes, I would, absolutely.
Okay.
Probably more annoyed with the way Brexit's been delivered than anybody. Because so many of the things that we could have done, we simply haven't. And the big one is people voted Brexit above all because they did not like.
Forever positioned as the outsider, Nigel Farage has tapped into deep frustration across rural Britain, where many farmers fear their livelihoods and family traditions are under mounting pressure, and he has eagerly cast himself as their advocate. Yet critics remain skeptical, accusing him of amplifying tensions and warning that his hard-edged rhetoric risks stirring public anxiety rather than offering solutions, pointing to his repeated clashes over transparency and public safety as evidence of a combative populist style. The divide is clear. Supporters see a voice for the overlooked, while opponents see a figure who pushes emotions to the brink. Farage has also targeted senior figures in the Labour Party, including Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner, accusing them of sidestepping accountability and ignoring rural economic strain, a familiar approach that is direct, uncompromising, and designed to challenge authority head-on. His appearance at a farmers' rally carried more than symbolic support. It signaled a broader political message, presenting himself as the champion of those who feel overlooked and drawing comparisons with outsider movements seen internationally. Beneath the confrontation lies a wider ambition. His criticism hints at sweeping reform, fueled by voter frustration with a system many believe has left them behind. In an emotional appeal, Farage spoke about his concern for a country he sees in decline and called for significant change, blending patriotic urgency with reformist determination and setting up a final clash with his critics. The lingering question remains whether he represents a necessary corrective force or a risky disruptor. As the dust settled, the intensity of his call for transparency and change left even opponents momentarily quiet, turning the moment into more than a routine political exchange and instead a snapshot of deeper divisions shaping Britain's future, where growing distrust in traditional parties raises the possibility that outsider voices may increasingly dominate public debate, or, alternatively, that their confrontational methods could strain the very democratic framework they claim to defend.